Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Ilan Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host,
Nicholas Pasco. Every week we'll make sure I caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week we're going to be giving you our review of The Mandalorian and Grogu, one of last weekend's biggest new releases. But before we get to that, what's poppin', where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. How you guys doing? What's up, Nick? I know you're in the middle of finals, so how's that going?
Yeah, just been stressing, swimming through that, I suppose, but we'll make it out the other way, either alive or dead, and you guys will know next week if there's an episode or if there's a black Instagram post with just text saying that
Nick died.
Actually, I don't have to keep describing that. you get the picture.
Yeah. No. Keep going. I'm curious where this is gonna go.
Actually, you could just it doesn't have to be black. It could be like an orange thing with like our colors, and then it could be the white text, and it could be like he suddenly passed away from final overdose or something.
Yeah. I'll make it on Canva. It'll be great.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I've just been going through that. What about you, Ilan? How have you been? What have you been up to?
Been chilling. Pre-production on my next short film, so dealing with that. Just pushing through, and living life, watching movies. What can I say?
Exciting stuff. I can't wait till you want to talk about it on the pod at some point.
Yeah. One day, big stuff is coming. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Let's move into the box office. This is going to be for the 4-day weekend, the Memorial Day weekend. The total was $221 million, which is down 32% from Memorial Weekend last year. That's not too surprising, just because last year had two really big movies, Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible, like the last Mission Impossible movie. So, one mediocre Star Wars movie isn't enough to rival Lilo and Stitch and then Mission Impossible. With that being said, at number one this weekend was The Mandalorian and Grogu. For the 4-day, it pulled in $100 million. For the 3-day, it was $82 million. That was both domestically. Globally, it's at $163 million on a $165 million budget. It landed under Solo's $84.4 million 3-day, making it the lowest Disney-era Star Wars opening. Not the best, not surprising though.
Kristen Solo is crazy.
Yeah. Not the best, but not surprising. And I don't imagine this is going to hold very well. I think it's probably going to fall quite a bit weekend to weekend.
Crazy how a $750,000 movie is going to beat a whatever $13 billion company's $200 shit show.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, I know like it 165 million is like considered a lower budget for a Star Wars film, so I guess that's like its only saving grace, but still not good.
Honestly, yeah, you're right. Like, it's not much of an advantage from like under 65 million to like 750,000. It's not too big of a jump.
Right. Speaking of 750,000, number 2 this week is Obsession in its second week. It pulled in $30.4 million on the 4-day, $22.4 million for the 3-day, which is up 30% from last weekend, which means that domestically it's at $60.7 million. Globally, it's at $74 million, obviously on a $750,000 budget. A 30% second weekend increase in wide release is virtually unheard of. Jason Blum, which is one of the producers on the film, and he's like obviously the head of Blumhouse, he said, and I quote, "This doesn't happen in horror," because it just doesn't. This movie is so generational for so many reasons. It has already earned roughly 74 times its production cost. Showtimes are sold out across the board. I went to rewatch it this week. Completely full theater. I had friends who tried to go see it yesterday. All showtimes are just completely sold out. Weren't able to get tickets.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this really is like a really big deal, this movie, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's just like really how simple the film is in both like premise and execution, and how much of a stir it's been able to make like around the country or the world. I don't know if it's not released internationally, but But yeah, it's just insane. And I really do wonder, like, what is it about this movie that people are gravitating towards?
Well,
I
I just think
different aspects.
the word of mouth is just so strong. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody,
Right.
and people are going to see it multiple times. It's a very rewatchable film, as well.
For sure.
Yeah,
it's super interesting.
Yeah. Number 3 this weekend is Michael. In its 5th week, it pulled in 26.9 million for the 4-day, 20 million on the 3-day, which is only a 29% drop from last weekend. Globally, it's at 788 million. 5 weekends in, and it's still holding very strong. It's closing in on Bohemian Rhapsody for the all-time music biopic. Bohemian Rhapsody, for context, that's 911 million. That's the number for it to beat, and it's going to be the highest grossing biopic of all time. I think it'll easily pass that and get to $1 billion quite soon. Looking down on the box office, we had a couple other new movies open this weekend, which both of them I will talk about later. But at number 6, we have Passenger. It opened 10.5 million for the 4-day, 8.7 for the 3-day, 15.3 million global on a $15 million budget. And then I Love Boosters, which is the new Boots Riley film, opened up at 8th. 4.6 million for the 4-day, 3.72 on the 3-day, $20 million budget. Strong reviews, mixed audience score, and it's similar box office wise to Sorry to Bother You from 2018, which was his debut feature film. Last thing, Super Mario Galaxy is at 980, so it is really inching to that billion dollar mark.
I'm sure it'll make it at some point, maybe in between 2 weeks. Yeah, hopefully, if that digital distribution doesn't disrupt it too much. I remember I said it last week. I don't remember what day I said the movie was going to come out digitally. I think June 4th.
Yeah, sometimes something like that.
Yeah.
Overall, this Memorial Day weekend came in well below last year's all-time record, but like I mentioned before, that was like extenuating circumstances just because of crazy stuff being released on that day. Disregarding that, it pretty much is like your average pre-pandemic Memorial Day weekend, so nothing crazy. Domestically, we're still 14% ahead of 2025 heading into the summer, so yeah, pretty cool. Do you have anything you want to say about that, or can we move on?
No, we can move on. It's a very. I'm just happy to see people going to the movies again and like making that a normal thing. I don't know if we mentioned. I feel like I might have mentioned this on the podcast at some point, but there was a study that came out, and I wish I could be more specific about it. That the main people who are going to movie theaters now are Gen Z, just younger generations. So I'm glad that. That younger generations are considering the movie theater as a place to be, like as a third place. So yeah, it's very cool. I'm glad that we're back to pre-pandemic numbers.
Yeah, it's great, and it's only going up, so very happy about that. With that being said, we can move into what we watched. Nick, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I didn't watch too much this week, but I'll mention the one thing I did, and then we'll do something else. I watched from horror from the mind of Curry Barker, as he likes to tagline it. I watched Milk and Cereal.
Yes, this is the movie I talked about last week.
Yeah, sorry. I watched it with Ilan, and it was very interesting too. Like Obsession, this weird little horror film. Just like it's just straight an hour, so you can just eat it up and go on your way. But it's on YouTube too, completely accessible. It's just very interesting to see like the beginnings of him as a director and like what sort of his style is and also his writing too. To talk about the actual film, it's about two YouTube pranksters who pull pranks on each other until one of them goes too far, without spoiling anything. So, and coming from the mind of Curry Barker, you can kind of am I saying his name right? Curry Baker?
No, it's Barker. You're saying it right.
Okay. Coming from the mind of Corey Barker, like it's something interesting and something that really does go too far at some points, but always entertaining. I 100% recommend it. Like I said, super easy to watch and digest, and weird. Weird in its presentation and weird in the actual content. So yeah, please go ahead and watch it. What did you think of it, Ilan? I mean, I know you already watched it before, but
Yeah, on a rewatch, I think it was just as fun. It definitely holds up. Like you said, it's super in and out, but you still get a nice story. You get some fun performances. You get some cool like found footage stuff. I'm a sucker for found footage, which is Backrooms is found footage, and I'm quite excited for that. Yeah, it's just a fun time, and I think it's great. I always love seeing like where filmmakers I enjoy like come from. And obviously, he's still super new in his career, so it's crazy. It's foolish to say this is where he came from, right? But it was just cool seeing an earlier project of him, and yeah, it's super accessible. Like you said, it's on YouTube. No reason not to go and watch, especially if you liked Obsession. I think you'll definitely have a great time with it. Yeah, it's a very fun time.
yeah, it's like you said, he is super young in his career and everything like that, and it is crazy to think like we're on the ground floor of potentially the next like John Carpenter or
Yeah,
George Romero
his next
or
film is
whoever,
already
whoever he wants
shot.
to be.
His next film is already shot,
Mhm.
right? And then he has the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot coming up after that. So he already has projects lined up, and this was all before Obsession released. So we can only imagine how that's going to affect his career. He's going to have a blank check film. I mean, he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. People are going to be fighting.
I can Sorry.
I was just going to say people are going to be fighting to have him make a movie for their studio.
100%. And I also like I can for sure see him like actually making like a horror icon character, because I feel like we're missing out on those these days. Like we have all these classics like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like
Yeah,
Scream,
closest
like,
thing we have is Terrifier. That's like the closest thing that we have.
yeah, Terrifier, and then like the Blumhouse, they try to make fucking Megan a thing.
The Grabber. I would say the Grabber, like from Black Phone.
No. The Grabber is not an icon.
No?
I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
They're
I would
trying to
say
they're
more
trying to
than
make the Grabber
Megan.
an icon.
More than Megan for sure.
I would say, I don't think either the Grabber or Megan are icons, but
No,
if I had to
honestly,
pick
Art the
one,
Clown is
Megan.
the only one. Really, Art the Clown's the only one.
yeah.
Freddy
and even then,
Fazbear,
it's still more
maybe?
niche.
Like Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah,
Like,
I
or
guess-
not
I
even
guess
like
you could kinda-
Springtrap, not Freddy Fazbear. It would be Springtrap.
Maybe so. But my point is, like, all of these, like new, these are not icons. You know what I mean? Like, these are like people that people sometimes know, but none of them are originated from none of them are originated from horror movies. Or if they are, they don't really have that much attention. People don't really regard them. Like, you can't tell me that people hold the Grabber the same as like Jason or
No,
Freddy,
yeah, the Grabber was a
or-
bad example. The closest thing that we have is Terrifier. Art the Clown is, I would say he's definitely broken out into mainstream like horror.
Sure, him. But that's my point. Like, I could see Curry Barker like being a director, especially because like he likes that sort of like style of like killers and like a central kind of like villain or like a central piece of horror that's into a world of normal. I can see him doing that, and I'm excited to see him do that if he does do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be cool. It's just I'm excited for what the future holds for that guy.
Yeah, he definitely has a super bright future.
100%. What did you watch this week, Alon?
So yeah, I watched a lot of things. I guess I'll just quickly, just so we're not here for too long, I'm gonna mention the two like big other releases that came out this past week, other than the Mandalorian and Grogu. Starting off, I'm gonna talk about I Love Boosters, which is the new Boots Riley film. This movie is, I would say, the marketing campaign was terrible for this film. After seeing the movie, because I think those trailers do a disservice to what the movie is. It's essentially a stylized live action cartoon, which does not make sense unless you've seen the movie, and if you see it, you'll know what I mean. It's very creative. The score is, I'm still thinking about the score. Like, it's so fun and upbeat and nice and up tempo, and it's really great. But it's just strange, man. um like in a cartoon, how there would be like gaps in logic or things would just kind of happen and you accept it. It's kind of one of those things. And I don't want to be specific just because I'm sure you probably will go see it because I know you like Sorry to Bother You.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure eventually you'll get to it, and I want you to be surprised whenever you do because I was taken for a loop. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Not at all what I expected the movie to be, but that's like in a complimentary way. Like I was taken for a loop in a good way. Some really fun performances. Demi Moore, from The Substance. I think this is her like first like big role after her. Did she win the Oscar that year?
I don't. I maybe. I don't think so. Or maybe she did, and I'm tripping.
I whatever. After her like big, that was her like big comeback, right? So this is like her
After
first.
The Substance, yeah.
Yeah. This was like her
Okay,
first.
she did.
Okay, she won
did,
it, right?
Did.
So she did fantastic here. Super fun. The whole main cast, Keke Palmer. I don't know the other actresses' names, unfortunately, but they were all just great. Some really good comedic bits.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter doesn't get much to do, but what he does get is quite fun. Like Stanfield, also kind of a standout with little to do. It's definitely an experience, and it is a movie that I think should be seen on the big screen. So, Nick, if you're able to see it before it leaves theaters, I would recommend doing so.
Most definitely. You've just sold me more on this movie. Also, something you didn't know, just like a little tidbit, I guess. Boots Riley was actually a rapper before he became a director. So it's interesting that you mentioned the music, because I've just been thinking about how kind of like that career switch could affect like someone's art. And I have seen Sorry to Bother You, and I enjoyed Sorry to Bother You. I think you said that. So I am excited for I Love Boosters when I do have the time to watch it. And you just sold me more on it, saying that it's like a live action cartoon.
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I loved it. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. It was definitely like a fun time at the movies, and I think it definitely makes use of film as a medium. Like, it really like is one of those movies that's like, damn, like movies are just so cool that like, in no other art form could you do something like this.
Interesting.
So yeah. That's gonna be my review of I Love Boosters. Nick, I know you said you didn't have much to talk about this week, but you did have some music stuff. So I'm gonna let you interject before I give my second review.
Sure, absolutely. So, like I said previous, I've been busy with finals, so I haven't had a lot of time to watch movies or shows. But what I've done in the meantime is listen to a lot of new albums. So what we're gonna do here is this, since this isn't the first time I talk about music, I think. We're gonna do Nick's Music Shack.
Okay.
This is my little corner where we're just talking about some new.
That's gonna be a little musical tidbit right there.
Hell yeah. We're just gonna talk about 2 albums real quickly. If you listen to it, follow along. If not, this is my recommendation. First off, we're gonna talk about the new JPEG Mafia album. JPEG Mafia is a rapper. From somewhere. I'll have more information next time I do this, but he's a rapper that I'm a really pretty big fan of. He focuses a lot on like sort of alternative, experimental music, experimental rap and rhythm with very kind of like screamy, harsh sounds, and he's focusing most on it on this album titled Experimental Rap. Titled that because he thinks that a lot of people think it's a derogatory term nowadays, which I don't know who said that, but whatever. This album was very interesting. Was it good? It was good if a different artist made it, and then this is kind of like something new that they come out with. But because it's been JPEG Mafia, I would say it's his worst album. It's not a bad album, but it just, it kind of gets stale after a while. In the sense of him just talking about the same things that he's been talking about kind of throughout his career, which has been bitches and money and how to get them, both, or also how to lose them. So, and he doesn't move past those central themes, and neither does his music evolve much from his previous albums. So, Yeah, genuinely, I would say this is a little bit disappointing. This release, as a fan, and so on a scale of $1 to $10, I think you should buy this album. I'll give it a I'll give it a solid $4 is worth to spend on
Okay.
it. If you're really just kind of like not, because I know it's also he also isn't super approachable as an artist. If you're not already a fan of him or his type of music, so if you're an outsider coming in, not the greatest introduction, and if you're an insider coming back in, I don't know. It's like I said, it's not a bad album, but it's his worst album.
What a glowing review.
Yeah. Huh?
I said what a glowing review.
Yeah. You know, you got. Hey, listen, I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it real in Nick's Music Shack. So, I'll tell you that. So I'll give you the word, and then I'll mention the other one. But what's another thing? What's the other thing that you watched along?
So yeah, the other release I watched was Passengers. For context, I think this film had a really, really cool trailer. I think it looked really scary, intriguing.
I also saw the trailer for this, and I told you about it a while ago, and I was like, "This looks really cool."
Yeah,
so.
it's not. Unfortunately, it was honestly really bad. It was really, it honestly did the worst sin that any movie can do, and just be plain out boring.
Wow.
It does every like garbage trope that a horror movie has. Like it has like the old person that just knows about everything. It just has all the things that like you look at a horror movie and you're like, why is the character doing that, or why is this happening? It doesn't do anything fun with the kills of the character. It doesn't do of the characters. It doesn't do anything fun with like the premise.
What is the premise?
So the premise is that there is this like demon that attaches itself to like people driving on like these like streets like in the forest or whatever, and like they'll kill you, and then like your car will get marked and it'll like play with its food and then like kill you, and then whoever like drives by it and stops and like tries to help will get marked, and then you know they get it, and it's just stupid. Like it's not cool. Like the characters have absolutely zero chemistry together. They're boring, poorly written. There was a line in the movie that was like, and I quote, "For everything holy, there is something unholy." So my letterbox review was, "For everything holy, parentheses obsession, there is something unholy, parentheses Passengers." Just a terrible movie. Yeah, my time would have been better spent like watching Obsession for the third time than stepping foot in that theater.
Now, I saw this in a tweet, so I'm gonna ask you the same question. Is Passengers a bad movie because Obsession came out and like that's so fresh, or is it just straight up any time of the year?
It's a bad movie.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough because that trailer actually really good. I was like, I saw that.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, this looks like really.
It would have been much better suited as like a short film, because like that first trailer, like that whole scene, that whole bit, that's
was
like
pretty much.
That's the opening film, like the opening of the film.
I see.
And so it would have worked much better as like a short film, I feel like.
I got you.
Which is something I feel like I've been saying about a lot of horror movies this year.
Yeah, same thing like Undertone, same thing with what other things come out? I don't remember, but I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Alrighty, so that brings us to the second album on Nick's Music Shack, which is Bit Not by Feeble Little Horse. Now, this album came out as of yesterday, as of the day recording, May 26th, and Feeble Little Horse is an indie rock band from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They also focus a lot on alternative sounds with nice melodic beats, and also just the main. I think a lot of people like them. I think for the main singer's like voice, she has a very nice voice. I like them because of that as well, with the like discordant sounds. They haven't released anything since a song called "This Is Real" in 2025, and then before that, an album in 2023. So it's been 3 years since their last album. A lot of anticipation. And did this new one meet those expectations? Yeah, I'd say okay. I'd say it was pretty good. It is more rock infused than anything else that they've made, but it also is kind of similar to what they've made, just with like that injection of rock and like some other new sounds. The reason I'm a little bit disappointed about it is because in 2025 they released a song called "This Is Real," which is very interesting and very big in scope. And so I figured that their next album would be that sort of same similar noise. It wasn't. But considering what it is, it's a solid 25-minute a piece of music that I think if you have any sort of interest in either rock or alternative music, then you should 100% check it out. I'd give it a $7 out of $10 to spend on this.
Okay, not bad.
On this album, yeah, it's pretty good. I recommend it, honestly. And also just keep listening to Feeble Little Horse. They make great music. They make great stuff. All of their stuff is like small, and approachable, and yeah, they're an interesting band that I think more people should keep an eye on if you're into that sort of stuff. And that is it for everything that I've experienced throughout the week.
Nice.
How about you, Ilan?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. And I guess we can move into our main feature of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Here I'll start with a quick summary, and then we'll talk spoiler-free and then spoiler thoughts. Here we go. The evil empire has fallen, but imperial warlords remain scattered through the galaxy. As a fledgling new republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they enlist the help of legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu. Nick, what did you think of Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu?
I was interested as to what you were gonna say in the plot summary, because I was like, what would they? What
plot is a very loose term.
Plot. Yeah, and you know they keep it as loose as possible. I'll tell you that much. I'm glad that Disney is now accepting fan films. So I think we should make something and show them that, like, hey, we got the stuff for this, and then maybe who knows, maybe they'll give it a wide release.
They're accepting anything
on a big holiday weekend. They'll accept anything other than what Adam Driver wants, and other than what the Phil Lord and Chris Miller want to make, which are actually interesting movies. Yeah, what did I think of it? It was certainly a Star Wars film that, and I feel like I say that about a lot of shitty things. Like, it's certainly a movie, but it was certainly a Star Wars film that loved Star Wars. I can tell that they loved all the little characters, and they love what Star Wars means and represents and what it is. But do they love it enough to make a good movie? I don't think so. It was, and the worst thing about it is, like, I don't even care. Like, I mean, I'm a
Have you seen any of the
passive...
show for context?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, I should mention that I haven't seen any of Mandalorian at all. I have a general idea of what happens, but I also we'll talk about that more. But yeah, I haven't seen any of it, and but I wasn't lost on the plot at all, or at least for lack of watching the show. I just more had questions as to why I should care. But yeah, it wasn't. I love being a passive Star Wars fan because I have investment within I have investment as to, like, what happens and, like, what's going on, but I don't have any emotional investment into, like, any of these characters or what's going on. Like, so it's great just seeing a dumpster fire burn and knowing how the fire started, but just, like, seeing it spread throughout and just, like, seeing until it completely goes into ashes and just completely bankrupts Lucasfilm. So yeah, that's how I thought about Mandalorian and Grogu. What did you think about it, Ilan, as an actual Star Wars fan?
Yeah, so okay. I don't know how strongly I can consider myself a Star. I feel like I might have not been a Star Wars fan for years at this point. For context, Mandalorian came out. I was obsessed with season 1. Season 2 came out. I thought it was even better. Season 3 came out and it was awful. In between season 2 and 3, there was the Book of Boba Fett and a collection of other terrible Star Wars shows that just tarnished my opinion of the franchise, tarnished the opinion of a lot of people. It essentially became a Disney Plus franchise, and so, you know, this is their first big movie in 7 years. I was really, you know, hoping for a really big, exciting adventure back into the theaters, and unfortunately, this movie did not do that. It really feels like 4 episodes of The Mandalorian, like almost like a mini season stitched together. You can almost tell where the credits would roll in certain aspects of the film. Did you feel that? Where you were like, okay, this is where the episode should end? Like, did that
the very middle of the movie, I was like, oh my god, like when, well, it's too soon for spoilers, but when they go back to the rebellion base or whatever.
Yes, that definitely should have been the end right there. And then I look at the clock.
I genuinely said to myself,
there's another hour left in this movie. Fuck my life.
I was like, what is there? What else is there to see? I literally was like, no, I think I'm good, actually. Like, I think I can leave these characters behind. I think an hour is all I needed. But I was strapped, unfortunately.
Yeah, so, you know, with this being a movie, it needs to be bigger in scale than a TV show. It needs to warrant being in a movie theater, especially for people not like us that are going to the theaters every week, but people that don't really go to the movies. They're going to see this and they're going to be like, why would I pay, you know, let's say it's a family of 4 or 5. Why would I pay like almost $100 if not more than $100 when I could, you know, watch the same thing on Disney Plus? And I feel like that's a problem that they did not solve going into this. Nothing about the trailers or the way that they were selling this movie made me think that this warranted being in the theaters. Almost to the point where I thought that there was going to be a big plot aspect that they were hiding from the trailers. I thought that there must be more to the film than they were letting on to try and like preserve the theatrical experience, which would have been great, right? But there really isn't. It's literally just what they presented to you. It's really just a lackluster episode of The Mandalorian. Diving into more specifics. Yeah, this movie really likes Baby Yoda. You know, Grogu is adorable, and it certainly works for me. Like, it works on me. Like, oh, like, it's so cute.
It worked on me too at some point.
Right, but it's just not enough to carry a movie. They took away any sense of personality from the actual Mandalorian, Din Djarin. His character changes nada during the entire film. Absolutely no progression or anything at all with the Mandalorian. It almost feels like a retread of stuff that we've seen in the show. We've seen the whole he has to his helmet being forced off of him situation. Like, this is stuff that we've seen. If this was the first time we saw,
I didn't know that was a big deal.
Yeah. It's like a big thing. Like, season 3 was all about him like cleaning his slate from taking off the helmet, right? But it's just, this is something we've seen before. Nothing, it's not like they gave any big power upgrades to Grogu. It's not like he said his first words. He's just doing the same, cute shit we've been seeing him do for the past couple years. He uses the Force in the show. So, they acted like him using the Force in the movie, especially towards the end, was like a big deal. But that it's not. We've seen this before.
Has he healed?
Yes.
Like, has he healed anyone in the show?
Yes,
okay.
He has. Like, this is everything is stuff that we have seen before. The side characters, Sigourney Weaver, I couldn't tell you her character name. She could not care less to be in this film.
I don't think she could tell you her character
name.
Yeah,
she's clearly, she was clearly on set for 2 days. Rada the Hutt, fine, I guess. Like, it was cool to see him.
He was the most character out of any character.
He was the best part of the film, and there's some stuff I want to talk about with him in spoilers. But, like, Jeremy Allen White clearly didn't care much. I mean, there's not much effort put into that performance. Zeb, I mean, Why is he in this movie?
No, bro, not my boy Zeb, bro. They fucked up my mans, bro.
Yeah, they don't like naming characters in this film. Like they don't say, like, if you don't know who Zeb is, they don't say his name until like his final scene. I don't think that they even say Din Djarin. Like, did you know that the Mandalorian's name is Din Djarin?
No, absolutely not. They just kept saying Mandalorian, and I kept calling him that. I was like, oh, that's the Mandalorian.
Right, no, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this movie just is very, very poorly written. It's uninteresting. The score is great. I would say Ludwig Göransson did a fantastic... It's like techno almost, like Star Wars 100%. Techno. Really, really fun. But that's to be expected. That's Ludwig Göransson. That's the guy who, made the Sinners score and the Black Panther score. He's fantastic. Some of the action was cool, I guess. Sure. But I don't know. I really didn't care much. Do you want to move into spoilers?
I was gonna ask you. Yeah, I think we should move into spoilers.
Yeah, the one part that did work. This is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie and you plan to, now is a good time to click off. The one part that did work for me, about 2/3 into the movie, it essentially becomes a 20-minute Grogu short film, and I thought that kind of worked. Actually, I thought that was really fun. Because it forced Grogu to become an actual character. It's almost like they made him more of a baby in this movie. Like they, because in the context of the movie, he's 50 years old, right?
I kept saying that in my head, like, while I was watching it. I was like, isn't this like an old guy? Like, isn't this supposed to be like old, but he just like looks like a baby, and that's the whole gimmick? But we're getting like baby noises out of him, like,
yeah, well, because Yoda lived to be over 900, right? But I just feel like
right.
that aging, it's not like, I feel like he should be more far along at 50. And I mean, he was 50 when we met him. Like, okay, for context, we didn't know Baby Yoda was going to be in The Mandalorian. Episode 1 drops on, the day it comes out. And in episode 1, Mando's hunting for someone who all he knows is that he's like 50 years old. It ends with him discovering Baby Yoda. And that was like really big. Like that made, people went crazy for that.
The end of the season or the end of the episode?
That was the end of episode 1. Like he wasn't in any promotional material or anything. So everybody just found out on the day. So he was 50 when we first met him. That was years ago, and it almost feels like he's degraded.
Which is to make him cuter.
Like, I think that's what it is. They're too scared to advance it because of how popular the character is, which I get.
I mean, they're not gonna have teenage Yoda. They're not gonna have puberty Yoda, where like he's just all like lanky and awkward. That's not gonna sell plushies at Disney World.
But he should have said it. He should have said his first words. I mean, that's what they should have done, right? They should have done something. He should have gotten a lightsaber, something to warrant it being a movie. Why was this a movie and not a fucking mini series on Disney Plus?
Cause I'll tell you why. Because they made this using AI. They said this was an experiment. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it actually.
Let's see what we can get away with.
Yeah. And if it works, then we'll just keep doing it. If it doesn't, then we'll have issues on our hands. No, I mean, I genuinely do that. I have a lot of kind of questions that I feel like I should have watched the show to.
Well, I can here. What's up? I can maybe clarify some things.
Well, I'm gonna ask you the questions, but also I'm like. This movie just completely spits in the face of the rules of movie making because it doesn't really care. It doesn't consider anything like establishing its characters. Why anybody cares? Why I care? Like, what is the point of everything and anything? What are we following here? Absolutely nothing at all. So I was just like, throughout the whole movie, I was thinking like, why? I mean, if I didn't even know what a fucking Mandalorian was. If I didn't even know about this show's existence, if I was just because this is who they're making this movie for. They're making this movie for babies to come to the theater and be like, oh my god, I love Star Wars. Look at the Martin Scorsese guy. Oh my god, he's my favorite. So they're making that movie for new people to be introduced to the Star Wars story, right? What are we doing here? Why are Mandalorian and Grogu friends? Mandalorian seems like a loser loner. Like, why does he like this baby? Why does he carry him around? Like, why is he useful? Why are they like so connected? And they call them. There's a character, I think Zeb, or no, not Zeb. Rada calls the Mandalorian like dad, the dad of Grogu at some point in the film.
Yeah, he's essentially like the adoptive father of
right.
Baby Yoda. Yeah.
Right, I understood that metaphorically, but if I didn't know anything about anything, I'd be like, wait, that guy birthed that fucking Grogu, that
Do you want to hear something really, really funny about like the whole like parental like relationship? So the whole like plot of the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian is to like find Jedi to train Yoda, right? That's the whole thing. Like we got to get him to his people. Like that's the mission. Okay. End of season 2. This isn't. I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, just because it's been years. Like Luke Skywalker pulls up. Like they have like they like deep faked fucking Mark Hamill.
I've seen it.
Okay, yeah, you've seen. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is like a known thing, right? So you would think that he pulls up, and we're not going to see Baby Yoda for a bit. Okay. They dropped the Book of Boba Fett, which is essentially a spin-off of The Mandalorian. But it acts as like a season 2.5. It's a 6-episode like Disney Plus show where within 2 of them, Boba Fett doesn't even show up. It's just the Mandalorian. Okay? And within this miniseries that is not the Mandalorian, he retrieves Baby Yoda from Luke Skywalker. And then season 3 just is its own thing of like just their adventures. But it's just like...
So what's the point of the Book of Boba Fett?
Boba Fett's a popular character, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yo, we gotta kill Dave Filoni.
Bro.
We gotta kill him.
Bro, if we hadn't seen Baby Yoda since season 2, right? We see Boba Fett, and even have Mandalorian show up in that, sure, and like have them do their own thing. Season 3, Mandalorian is on his own. And then this movie is the big triumphant return of Grogu. That could have worked. That would have been cool. We could have gone and seen like Luke training Grogu. That would have been movie level stuff. But no. And it's just frustrating. I used to love Star Wars so much. I hate the fact that I'm being so negative on this movie.
Well, I mean, we can talk about... What did you like anything about it?
Yes. Okay. The score... I like the puppetry. The puppetry was really great, especially on the Anzelians. I thought the Anzelians were very funny. Listen, they're little like, hey baby, they're
Wait, the Babu Fricks?
Yeah, the Babu Fricks. Yeah, they're called Anzelians.
Okay. I thought they were actually called Babu Fricks.
No, Babu Frick is like the name of because they were introduced in Rise of Skywalker. And that was like the main Anzelian in that movie. So people just call him Babu Fricks. Because that's a funny ass name.
Okay. I thought their species was actually called. Okay, cool.
So yeah, right. they were funny. I guess some of like the alien designs were cool. Like Rada the Hutt looked cool. One thing that made me cackle in the fucking theater. Rada the Hutt was introduced in the Clone Wars movie, like the first Clone Wars movie. Okay. And he's like a little thing. Like he's a little baby, he's a little baby Jabba the Hutt, okay? There's a scene in this movie where the twins are like, we have a picture of him from when he, like years ago. Like we have an old picture of Rada. Yeah. And then they pull up this live action 3D model of like the baby fucking Rada the Hutt from the Clone Wars. Dude, that actually had me dying. I'm gonna send you this picture right now just so you can see what this little shit looked like. He was called Stinky. Like that was his nickname.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sending into general right now.
Cause yeah, I saw that scene and I was like, I'm sure they don't.
Okay, this.
Okay.
Okay, this is Stinky / Rada the Hutt, and the only reason that they had that line was to do the fucking 3D hologram of him, and it looked so stupid, and like felt so. I actually like laughed out loud in my theater. I was like, no way. It's like this is the Star Wars version of the Mario Galaxy movie of like jingling keys, except it can't even
No,
jingle the
actually
keys.
real.
It can't even jingle the keys effectively. Like it'll show Zeb and have him do nothing cool and then have him disappear for most of the movie. Like
I was literally gonna bring that up where I was like, what is like why is this Zeb? You know what I mean? Why are we?
there
why
was
are we with
no
Zeb?
there was no reason.
Why is the main villain Jabba or like the Jabba people? Why are all of these like important or let's like background characters that we know in the universe? Like, if this was a real Star Wars movie where they were actually interested in having a plot and like let's say George Lucas was making just a new Star Wars movie, he wouldn't bring in like the past like characters. He'd make new fucking aliens,
Right.
and display those.
The
and
movie.
So I'm just like,
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. I was just like, this movie isn't interested in being a new Star Wars movie, or it's just interested in showing you the hits. And I was just like, remember when a Star Wars movie would show you a character and like a character from a previous movie, and it would be like an actual big deal,
It would
or
matter.
it would just be a consistent character that would have a point being in the film. Now it's just like, now it literally is just glub shittos. Also, I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. When I watched it, but then I found out. You know all the monsters in the arena?
Yeah, they're from the chess game, like the whatever
Yeah.
whatever the game is called. You wouldn't know
Yeah,
that.
and
They
I
make
felt
no
really-
point. Like what is the point of that? It doesn't matter.
That's what I mean. Where I was like, because my thing is like, I saw that fight scene and arena scene. I was like, oh, these are like kind of cool monster designs. Like I wish we got like more interesting ones like these. And then I found that out, and I was like, oh no, they just stole that from another movie. They didn't. They literally did not have the guts to make something original.
Yeah, because you know what it is.
They just kept stealing shit.
The movie
What?
was too scared to move the Star Wars. I think Star Wars as a general for the past couple of years, since the prequels like failed horribly, they've been unsure of like what to do with the franchise. Right? They've been sticking. They made tons of shows in the time between Darth Vader, in Darth Vader's reign between Episode 3 and 4. They don't want to go past 9 because they don't want to build the, they're scared to create more. So they're playing it safe, and they're just doing it where they don't have to do anything crazy or change the status quo at all. I've read things online that apparently like Starfighter, which is like the one which we're getting a Star Wars movie next year as well. Yeah, the Ryan Gosling one. That is apparently gonna somehow connect to the prequels and like launch a new trilogy. But I just like, is this what we need? Do we like, I wouldn't mind, because I think Starfighter looks really cool because it's completely its own thing. Like its own story. I think that just looks awesome, right? So I really don't want it to be bogged down by trying to set up more, especially when we both know it's probably not gonna go anywhere. It's probably not gonna come to fruition in any meaningful way. It's just gonna waste our time, honestly. And I don't care. For a time, this was all these Disney Plus shows were like leading to a culmination event with like Thrawn and Ahsoka and all that. And I like, isn't that what this movie should have been? Like, I just don't get. I just don't get why it was made. I don't get.
Has that event happened yet?
No,
or are
no.
they still building into it?
I don't know. I don't know if they're still building up to it. I know Ahsoka season 2 is coming out eventually, right? So that's gonna happen. They were
The
gonna.
other thing too is, sorry.
They were gonna make a season 4 of Mandalorian. They wrote the scripts and then they switched to make, like, they didn't change that script into this movie. Like, this movie is like its own thing, but they have season 4 scripts. So I wonder if they're gonna go back to season 4 or if they're gonna do another one. Like, it just, I feel like they themselves don't know what they're gonna do, and that's the problem. They need to decide on where to go and fully commit to it and not be half in, half out.
Well, I just think they need to stop. Like, and I'm not even saying like stop forever. I'm just saying like, let people fucking breathe. We've had Star Wars for like years at this point, and it's just diluting itself. It's just diluting its own brand. Release Starfighter, because that actually sounds interesting. Although I feel like it's just going to be another solo situation. I hope it's not. But listen, directed by Sean Levy. I think he's an okay director, but I don't think he has much of a.
The
like,
cast
an
is what
idea
saves it
past.
for me. I think Amy Adams, Aaron, what's his name? Ryan Gosling, Amy Adams, the guy from Rebel Ridge, Aaron Pierre, and Mikey Madison. Pretty good cast. So
Yeah, for sure. I would say like Ryan Gosling, especially like, you know, I feel like he has a good idea of picking his scripts, or at least like he won't just like go to anything that'll just give him $1 billion or something like that. So I do trust his idea behind this film. But yeah, it just feels super diluted. Again, with what you said about like they don't know where to go. They also tried doing something new with like that witch show. I don't know if that was a show, Ahsoka or something else.
Yeah, that was terrible. Acolyte. Yeah, that was like going the other way. They went like really, really back. That was like the farthest they've gone behind in the timeline. But that show was just awful and didn't know what it wanted to do. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm so negative on Star Wars, so it's hard for me to say I'm a Star Wars fan. Just because everything that they've put out recently has just been god awful. The only thing I've heard that it's good is Andor, and I haven't seen Andor. I you know, I'll get to it eventually. But everything I have seen, I've just been so, you know, burnt out on it.
It is crazy that you haven't seen Andor, because like that's the one that like people say that is really good, and I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it, and I thought it was good from what I saw. I just didn't continue it.
Yeah, I'm just worried that I'm gonna watch it and not like it, and then come to the conclusion maybe I just don't like Star Wars anymore.
Maybe, or maybe you've actually just been fed slop.
Right. So maybe I should just give it a chance, right?
You know. Yeah, I don't know. I also, mind you, I remember when I said, let's start talking about things we actually like about this movie. And then and this is how we concluded.
I mentioned what I liked, okay? The score and the puppetry.
No. Yeah. That's the other thing too, is like, they're making a big stink about it on social media about like, oh, this movie, it uses real puppets, and also like that robot fight scene, it's completely in stop motion, which, whatever, I don't know how true that is. But it's like, okay, but what's the point of it? Like, we're doing all this stuff, and it's cool, and it's nice. I do like the fact that it's practical and puppets, and you can see like how much effort they put into like making the world as real as possible. But also like the other half, 60% of the other film of this movie is like CGI, people in masks.
Right.
It all looks kind of like trash anyway. So there really is no difference between like puppetry and the CGI of it. If they're not like, and at the end of the day, the thing I kept saying is like, oh, that looks like a fun ride at Disney World, or this looks like a fun environment that would be like in Scavenger's Reign or whatever.
Well, it is. Fun fact. You can go and you know, do the Mandalorian and Grogu reskit of Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Disney World right now. Live now.
Let's go.
Live now. So you can actually go do that right now. You watch the movie and you can go right now. Right
Oh my God,
now.
you're telling me I can do the thing that they did in the movie?
Right now.
That's exactly what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I mean, that's what I figured. Like, literally, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a ride at Disney World. And then like that little
So
food that
stupid.
Martin Scorsese gives gives the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a plate in the meal in the store as well. I don't know. Like that's why they're maintaining this stuff. That's why they're gonna keep making movies. That's why what I say of like they should stop. They're not gonna do that. They're just gonna keep making it until eventually it's either gonna completely bust, and then there's not gonna be anything that they can do about it, or something will hit gold, and then who knows?
We'll see. Maybe Starfighter will be really good. Maybe Starfighter will be really good.
In your heart of hearts, do you really think Starfighter is gonna be like?
It might. I don't know about generational, but it. You know, I have hope. I do. The thing is, right, is that like we talked, like you mentioned, like giving the franchise time. In their minds, that's what they did. They gave theatrical Star Wars time, but within that, they essentially made Star Wars a streaming franchise.
Sure. And also, but like, look at also what they're coming back with. Like, they gave us nothing.
Their
like,
big triumphant
like,
return to theaters. That's what this was. You didn't like it?
They
Zeb!
Oh my god, I gotta watch this movie, bro. They got my boy Seven in it. Look at what they did. No, but like that's what I mean. Like every single Star Wars has been about something. Like none of these movies is lack of ideas. This is the first movie where I'm like, this is just showing us the same bullshit, and there is no story. Like I remember that Super Bowl ad came out, and it was just Mandalorian and Grogu like riding on some like thing through like some snowy
it was like a parody of the old beer ads, right? They were trying to be funny. They were like, we still got it. They don't got it.
Sure. I mean, I didn't know that it was a parody, but I was just like, okay, so this is, and it was like one of the first footage, one of the first times we got like footage of the movie, or just like footage of like a trailer, you know what I mean? First times we saw anything about the movie, I'm pretty sure. So I guess, I don't know, I was trying to connect it to a story, and I was be like, oh, I wonder what this is, or I wonder what this means. And then as the trailers kept going, I kept thinking like, I wonder what this is, I wonder what this means. And then as I saw the movie, I was like, yeah, there really is just nothing. Like there was nothing here to promote. There was nothing here to do. They start the movie, the Grogu and Mandalorian, they love each other. They have a great relationship. The end of the movie, they love each other. They have a great relationship.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing. There's no progression to any of the characters.
Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Nothing is exciting. And I really, it really just felt like an excuse to throw Star Wars in my face and be like, look at all this IP. Look at all this great stuff that we can do. I'm glad you can do all this great stuff. What are you doing with it? We're doing it. We're showing it to you. But okay, but I don't want to see it. I want to experience it. I want to live it. I want to feel it.
Which you can in Disney World Hollywood Studios.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, we're getting our tickets. We're getting our tickets tonight, brother. Oh yeah! I can't wait to eat the little arepa and panada, whatever they had.
Yeah. Have some of those blue cookies. Those blue cookies that Grogu was munching on. Don't you want your Enzelian plushes and your Baby Yoda plushes and your Martin Scorsese creature plushes?
I can't wait to have my Rhoda Hut beanbag that I can
exactly.
I can lay on Jeremy Allen's like disgusting, and like yeah, and everything else about this film, just like all the little creatures and everything. I was just like, I don't care. I couldn't care. It was stupid. It was pointless. I don't know. And did I hate it? No, I didn't hate it. There were definitely things happening. Oh, also one quick thing. Why does he talk like that? Why does Mandalorian talk like that? That's he's just like, are we gonna, there were several lines where he was like, are we gonna stay or are we gonna fight?
Like, yeah, like he's not, that's what I'm saying. He's not this poorly written in the show. At least I don't remember him being this poorly written and boring in the show. I don't know what happened, man. It's such a shame. There was a point where Dave Filoni was supposed to be the savior of Star Wars. I remember very clearly, in fact. He was Star Wars Jesus.
And now he runs Lucasfilms.
Yeah,
so
false
we're
prophet.
Just gonna get Dave Filoni. False prophet. What's the thing that David says about David Diggs says?
He's not just a man. He's not just a Superman.
He's the prophet of the Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember when he was like the big kahuna as well. But now we're stuck with him. Now you're stuck with him.
Yeah. It's literally the obsession. Careful what you wish for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I feel bad talking so negative about the movie. The score was great. Really nice score.
It did surprise me. I'll say when they went into that New York City planet, which is just the New York City planet. That's the other thing too. Whatever new ideas this movie had to offer, none of them were interesting or original. That was just a New York City planet with a subway. And I don't remember what else is even supposed to be new, and I don't even know because it seems like they just got everything else from a background. So anything that I could sense that was like new about it. I was just
my god, Embo, the fucking bounty hunter that they don't name in the movie.
Oh yeah, he's from the show as well, right?
He's not from the show. He's from Clone Wars. Embo.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You wouldn't know because they don't say his name, and he's kind of cool. but ultimately adds nothing to the movie. So
I feel weird like calling out a specific flaw and being like, this thing didn't have this thing needed this thing to be a good movie, because this movie needed a lot of things to be a good movie, but it really didn't have like a big bad, like a big villain. And I was like, oh, is Enbo, well, I didn't know his name, but now I know it. Is Enbo supposed to be that villain? What do I know about, like, nothing? What do I
think the Hutts were probably supposed to be the big bad, right?
But then I was like, if the Jabbas are the big bad, then like, what are they doing? They're sitting on a chair the whole time, and they're not the big bad. They're the pushing, like, they're the thing that pushes the plot, but they're not the big bad. I consider the big bad like the person that is equal to our protagonist. You know what I mean?
But there isn't one.
Which I would say like Enbo is the closest thing, and I was like, if he's like our big bad, or if you know, that's what I'm trying. I'm really trying to look for something here to connect it, to make it more of a narrative, to make it more of a story. But there isn't anything. I'm at the end of the day, I'm wasting my energy on a movie that is giving me even less energy. So, so yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's funny how we completely forgot to mention a huge part of the movie up until pretty late, just because he was so...
I mean, is he?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, the
he's
thing is,
in
like,
there for like 10 minutes.
There could have been so many like different... A, they could have made Embo somehow interesting, or B, there's so many other characters. Either they could have made a new interesting character, or other interesting characters from the lore that they could have brought in that would make sense for the Empire context and all that. But no, they just...
I mean, I will say this movie does just feel like Dave Filoni being like, look at everything I've done in the past like 20 years of Star Wars. This is my movie. Like, it really did feel like a fan film, in the sense of he was a fan of Star Wars before, and now he made the Clone Wars and all these other movies and show, or no,
and now he's Star Wars God.
And now he's Star Wars God, so he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. And what he wants to do is make a movie with all of his favorite OCs, and have them interact with real canon characters.
Can you blame
him? I want to
him,
be
though?
part of the lore now.
Can you blame him?
I can't. I mean, listen, I can't blame him. He was successful at the end of the day. He got what he wanted. Who can I blame?
He was in the movie, right?
I don't know.
They had him in the movie wearing his iconic cowboy hat. That also took me out. That is so funny, bro.
Mind you, wearing his iconic cowboy hat and flying a starfighter, what every single Star Wars did. Yeah, of course he's gonna do that. Like, fuck him, bro. Like, he's a child. He's a child at the end of the day. He's a child who got the golden ticket to make whatever the fuck he wanted, and he did it. So I'm happy that he's happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. This movie was made to make one person happy, and it was him. So, you know, he got what he wanted, I guess.
Listen, I guess some people are easy to make happy, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. This guy, he worked on it. I don't know if you're making a point, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who do I blame? I can't blame him. He got what he wanted. He made exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Who can I blame? Disney? I don't know. George Lucas for selling his soul.
If this had dropped like one of those like the Punisher like special presentation type of situation, like as a special like Mandalorian presentation Disney Plus, I guarantee you I would not have been as critical of it.
Absolutely.
But you got to think about it in the context, and in the context it looks pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think what you're saying is 100% correct. Like, if this was just like a Disney Plus thing, then like I don't think anybody would really care, or people would actually like it probably, because it's not bad action. It's not an entirely unengaging film. You know, it is entertaining. But if it dropped on Disney Plus, I wouldn't have seen it either. So I'm more pissed at the fact that Disney made me watch it because it put the movie label on it. Because I didn't care about Mandalorian, and I still don't care, and they didn't give me a reason to care, so I'm just not going to care anymore. And now I care even less, because I know that there's nothing waiting for me behind that little picture on the Disney Plus screen, right, of a Baby Yoda. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. Do you?
Me neither. I can't wait till Grogu's reign over the Disney Empire ends, really, honestly. because I hated, honestly, this is genuinely how I feel. I hated Grogu as soon as he was like announced or released, or I guess as soon as episode 1 of Mandalorian came out and they started making him a big deal. I was like, this is just like Disney pushing a cute character made to sell like toys and shirts and whatever. Like I 100% read that as Grogu as soon as they popped into existence. And now I've seen the movie, and my statements are as true as ever. So I can't wait till that motherfucker has a bullet through his head.
He was somewhat interesting as a plot device in the beginning, because without him, like the Mandalorian show wouldn't. Obviously, the discovery of him is what set the Mandalorian show on its path. But the way they handled it going forward was unfortunately egregious. Yeah.
Are you gonna watch Mandalorian season 4? Is that the next one?
I mean, if they make that, like, that's not like confirmed or anything.
Right. But like, I'm saying, like,
hypothetical.
Has this movie changed your views about like if you're gonna watch future Star Wars content or not?
Probably not. Like, I'll probably still end up watching it. I'll get to Andor eventually.
Sorry, I don't know. Like this in the way that you said that was just like so like was just like, yeah man, you're the problem, bro. You're the reason they keep making this shit.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'll probably watch it. Only for the reason that they literally cannot keep Grogu at this point any longer. He has to evolve. So I think that
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Would you watch a season 4 of Mandalorian?
Wait, you're gonna say that? I think that what? Or and then I
don't even remember. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. What's the Star Wars show? I mentioned that I watched like a little bit of Rebels when I was younger, but I didn't like choose to watch it. It was just on TV, and I liked it. Other than that, I don't think I've seen a little bit of Andor, any of the new Star Wars shows, like. At all. I don't think I've even touched them other than Andor. No. I would never watch season 4. Not even if my bullet to my head, watch all of Mandalorian right now. Take me out, brother. Take me out. I'm done. Right. I can't spare another second. And actually the thing too, like I said, I was entertained while watching this movie. I was like, would I watch it again? If I was forced to watch it again, would I enjoy it? Absolutely not. Do you think it's gonna do well on Disney Plus when they eventually release it on Disney Plus?
It might. I think a lot of people might like honestly be waiting for Disney Plus. I'm sure it'll do fine on Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't know. I feel I have very strong apathy about this movie. Like I just don't care about it. So.
Yeah. And I think that's how the world. It was fun. That's how everybody called it when the movie first, what is it called? The drop list or fuck, I forgot the
initial reactions.
The embargo.
Right, yeah.
The embargo for the review. Everybody just kept saying it's a fun movie. It's a fun time for the kids, folks.
Exactly.
So,
all right, that's it for episode 39 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We'll be back next week reviewing The Backrooms, which I'm very excited about. In the meantime, you can hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one.